Welcome in to Sweet Tea and the SEC. I didn't butcher that. I'm proud of myself. We have rebranded. We have took the pigskin out. We have just made it Sweet Tea and the SEC. Very simple. Not as much coming out the mouth. And yeah, y'all welcome in. We've got a lot to get to. I'm your host, Chris. You can find me on Twitter at CFP Talk 07. I'm joined as always by my co-host, who was also with us Sunday, Adam. You can find him on Twitter at CFB Guy. Is that right? CFB Guy? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. CFB guy.
CFB Guy. Man, we got a loaded show tonight. So I can't wait to get into it. Just a little quick announcement before we get into it. If you realize we only recap 2 games this time, typically we don't do that, but Adam was gracious enough to join me on Sunday's show that he's typically not on to fill in for another co-host. And we talked a lot of Missouri, Bama, Georgia, Auburn. We talked a lot of those games, and so we're gonna try not to repeat it again since we're both on together again. So I don't mind me repeating it all the time, but Adam, there's just no sense in it. So we're going to recap 2 that we didn't talk about Sunday: Aggies, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas. Then we'll preview Ole Miss, Georgia, LSU, Vandy, Missouri, Auburn, Oklahoma, South Carolina. So, like I said, we got a lot. So let's get right into it, Adam.
Let's go.
Aggies 34, Florida 17. Before we go into a recap on this, and I hope you don't kill me, Adam, because I didn't prep you on this. I told a buddy earlier today, I said, I'm going to hit my co host with something, and I'm not going to tell him yet because I want him to think on the fly on this one. Because we were having this discussion. I was like, I got to get Adam's thoughts.
All right. What
If
you
you
got?
had to pick right now, let's say we're going, Adam, you're going to power rank the SEC. I'm not going to make you do that. And you're deciding between 1 and 2 being Bama or Texas A&M. Who is Adam going with?
I think I'm gonna go A&M 1, Bama 2. I think you're splitting hairs there. Bama might be playing slightly better, but A&M hasn't lost. It's let me look at some. I have some of the different indexes up, power indexes, and A&M is higher than Bama in strength of record.
Mm-hmm.
They're 11 in FPI, and Bama's 3. In the AP, CFP, I guess I don't know what that is. They're A&M's 4, Bama's 6. Is that the AP poll maybe? Strength of schedule, Bama is 2. So they do have a little bit of tougher schedule. A&M's 20. In the REM, I think that's Remington strength of schedule. Shoot, what did I hit? A&M is 12, and Bama's 22. And whatever the GC is, they're 6 and 7. And then in the average WP, whatever that is, all these metrics I don't ever really pay attention to, but I used them for my ballot on to split hairs some. A&M is 11 and Bama is 34. So A&M wins that by a 4-3 margin, and I think right now, with only half a season done, you have 2 very good teams that both have the meat of their schedule left, and one's undefeated and one's not. And that one loss is to a Florida State team that has shown that was kind of a fluky win for them.
I'm glad you said that because I probably should have prepped you on this because to me, I was hoping you were going to say Aggies because that's where I'm leaning also, and that was going to be the perfect transition to a recap, and it worked out perfect. I agree with you, Adam. I'm starting to buy into this Aggie team. I watched most of that Florida game, man. It seems like things are starting to come together for them. I think their defense looks good. Once again, Adam, in this game, Florida was 1 for 11 on third downs. They are now 2 for 33 in the last 3 games. That money defense is clamping down. I think the offense is finding You're seeing that they can win in multiple different ways. Yeah, they did lose Moss. I did see the report that apparently he's going to be out for an extended period of time. But as you'd mentioned a couple of weeks ago, they have multiple running backs there that are pretty dang good. Yeah, man, I thought when Lagway went down there and scored, I was like, oh no, here we go. 8-4 Aggies. They're back.
I'm still waiting for it. It's still early enough it could happen, but
I know. And remember,
they're not showing any signs of it yet.
Yeah, I gave him my game ball Sunday, and yeah, man, I thought it was a pretty good game for them. They did struggle in the first quarter. First quarter, Florida had 157 yards, but the rest of the game they only had 162. So a little bit of struggle in the first quarter. But man, I'm really impressed with this team, man.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty well rounded, and they haven't yet had their and I think it's an attitude that Mike Elko brings. They haven't just had that game where they go out and lay an egg, and in years past, I feel like that has they've done it once and then it's snowballed after that.
Mm-hmm. I will say they do have, I will admit that, the schedule hasn't been brutal. They do have Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Texas, which I think, if my research is right, it's all on the road. So it's fixing to get tougher for the Aggies. It's fixing to get tougher. But, I just think they're a really good team. On the Florida side of things, I think it's just stating the obvious here. I think it's over. I think it's a matter of time before Billy's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what's his buyouts like. Is there a lower buyout if he makes it through the end of the year, or what are we talking about here? Because mathematically they're probably not eliminated for playing for the SEC game with 2 losses. I don't think anybody's going to go undefeated through the SEC, and I could see. It wouldn't surprise me if there's multiple 2-loss teams that play each other, and we have to figure out tiebreakers, and 2 of them play each other in the SEC championship, just because I think the SEC is pretty deep this year, deeper than last year for sure. So the champion's going to have at least 1, if not 2 conference losses. So mathematically at 1 and 2, they're not eliminated, but realistically they're not. They might not make a bowl game. Let's be honest. I don't see them going 4 and 2 the rest of their schedule.
I don't either. Let's see. Under contract, Florida will owe 85% of Napier's contract should it terminate. Buyout drops to $13 million after the 2026 season. Doesn't tell me what the buyout is.
That's the only thing I could think of is they were waiting to get through the season before they fired him because the buyout went significantly lower, but yeah, I don't understand what they're holding on to at this point because I don't really like the early season firings that we've had because there's been a lot and a couple big names and a couple bigger programs, but I feel like so many others have happened. Florida needs to jump on board and start their search now, just to be able to keep recruits and start being able to let the rumors happen and not confirm anything. Let the rumors leak who their coach is going to be to start kind of the recruiting just by rumor only. You're not going to secure anybody, but it might get some guys to start wanting to maybe not open it up, just wait and see what happens. Some of their current recruits.
I'm not sure how accurate this is. Somebody tweeted on October 11th is 20 million. So, we'll see. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Tennessee, I think it was 34. I did not write it down. 34-31 Arkansas, if I remember correctly. I think they won by 3.
Tennessee won 34-31.
Yeah, 34-31. All right. Man, I've been trying to so I've been in TikTok live the other day showing my top 25, and I mentioned this in the group chat, by the way. If you ever have a big ego and you want that to go down, just go put your top 25 on TikTok. They will let you know how stupid you are real quick. And one of the complaints I got was my Notre Dame ranking, but I had mentioned how good Arkansas's offense was, and I thought it was impressive how, Notre Dame was able to clamp down that passing game. And I thought Arkansas showed that in this game. Now, I know Tennessee's defense is really bad, and we'll get to that in our preview section. It's such a shame because Arkansas's offense is really dang good, like really good. It's just their defense is so bad. I guess the biggest takeaway for me on this game, Adam, was the Vols' defense. Arkansas had 496 yards, and their run defense allowed Arkansas to have 240 yards rushing.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes there, and I was kind of surprised that Heupel's always going to have good offenses. I expected a little bit more out of their defense this year. I didn't expect Tennessee to get back to the playoffs again. So, starting 5-1, with who they've played outside of Georgia, that should be expected. And then they got Bama, Oklahoma, Vandy, and a good Florida defense that, if Tennessee keeps playing a bad defense the way they are, then it could be a low-scoring game, and you never know what's going to happen. So they're right about where I thought they would be, but I thought for sure their defense would be better.
I thought so too. I really thought their defense was going to be not the issue. The offense was.
And Petrino is a good offensive coach, so maybe it's just like you said, Arkansas has good offense. Maybe it's just Petrino knew how to find the weaknesses, but I don't feel like Tennessee has shown a good defense in a lot of games this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're going to bring up even more in depth from my prep on the Tennessee-Alabama game in a minute. But yeah, their defense not good, and we'll talk about that in a little while. But all right, let's go on to the previews because we got some big games today, some surprising betting spreads.
Are we going to do our Sweet Tea MVP in between?
Yes.
I didn't know if you were changing up the format. We changed the logo. I didn't know if you were changing the format or not.
We did not, but I did forget again. So go ahead and do yours while I try to find this image.
I'm going to stay on the Tennessee game. I'm going to go with Deshaun Bishop. He had 14 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown in the win for Tennessee.
I got to find the image again after the show. Remind me, Adam, because you're the reason this show does good because you remind me stuff. But
I just come on here and talk and hope I don't make an ass of myself. So,
well, I make an ass of myself every week because I don't prepare apparently because I always forget the MVP. I'm gonna go, and once again I didn't do like you. I wasn't prepared again. I'm not gonna go Ty Sims because I already went him. I'm gonna actually go. I was gonna say I was gonna be funny and say I was gonna go the referees in the Auburn Georgia game, but that would piss off our Auburn fans.
You already said it at this point.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's true. Actually, I am gonna go somewhere along those lines, and not the refs, but in that game, I'm gonna go Georgia's defense in the second half, not the first half. I'm going to go Georgia's defense in the second half. They have been absolutely on a tear in the second half. We'll get to their first half problems in the preview. But, yeah, my Sweet Tea MVP is going to be Georgia's second half defense versus Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you like that on the fly?
I mean, you're getting a little into the weeds there on, I liked this quarterback on third and long plays because they were 4 for 4. The rest of the game, they were 2 for 20, but, whatever.
It wasn't my best effort. It was not my best effort. I'm going to make a promise, though. And if I don't, we're going to have like how we used to as kids have they used to have the cuss jar or whatever.
Yeah.
Going to have is Chris going to do his job and have the image and actually pick his MVP jar and every time I don't do it, we're going to put $1 in there. And by the end of it, hell, by the end of the season, Adam, we may not even have to do a show no more. Maybe Rich.
I mean, it's just your money, though. All you're doing is paying yourself. I mean, you're losing 50% if we're going to split that.
Yeah, we'll split it. We'll split it.
I might make a little bit. You're just losing 50%.
Yeah, I'm going to lose it. All right. I promise next week I will do better. Vandy versus LSU. Was you shocked that Vandy was favored?
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, they're favored by 2.5, and I've always heard that Vegas gives 3 points to the home team. So if that still holds true, or if that's not a myth that I'd always heard, then on a neutral site they expect LSU to be slightly better or a pick'em game. So I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised, but not really. I don't know what kind of a home field advantage Vanderbilt gets either. So I feel like that's not a terribly far game from the state of Louisiana. LSU fans always seem to travel well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 30% or more LSU fans.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was they were favored on ESPN Bet. I saw Sunday. I don't know if it's changed. Circa Sports had it as a pick'em.
Okay.
So that now ESPN Bet had them as a favorite Sunday.
The Vandy's still 2.5 on ESPN Bet.
Okay. I don't know. I wonder. I'll look after the show, but I wonder what Circa is now. But I'll tell you what. I think my feelings on Vandy, man. I like them. Me and you. This is where me and you differ in the Alabama game. I think they're still a really good team. I know they lost against Bama. I thought there was some. I wouldn't say not fluky, but they had some red zone turnovers. They kind of got out of their game. I do know LSU's defense is really legit. I just have this sneaky feeling this can go kind of similar as the Ole Miss game for LSU, where the defense is going to be the defense, going to be really good. But man, that LSU offense, I don't know, man.
I completely agree with you on that, but Vanderbilt's defense isn't great either. So
that's true.
This is a weird game where it's strength on strength with LSU's defense, Vanderbilt's offense, and weakness on weakness with the reverse. And I think it's going to be whose weakness, LSU's offense or Vandy's defense, which one plays better. If LSU can score a few points, Vandy's going to score a little bit, but it's tough to shut down Pavia completely, and Vandy will score a few points, but how many? I think LSU might be able to outscore them. I really do, and it's not going to be by much. If LSU wins, it's going to have to be in the low 20s.
Yeah, I don't even know what the over under is, but I would predict it's
48.5.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, you were getting ready to predict it. Sorry.
No. I wasn't getting ready to predict the over and under.
Yeah,
I was saying what I was going to say was I would predict it's going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah.
I was curious what the over under was. No, I wasn't going to predict that. I do think it'll be a low scoring game. I think all your points are really good also. Man, my picks were so bad last week, Adam. I'm under a lot of pressure right now, buddy. I'm under a lot of pressure because I can't have 2 weeks in a row. But we're going to do it again. I'm going Vandy. I think they find a way. I think they bounce back. I believe they had a bye week because I don't remember them playing last week. So they had the bye week.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, LSU just had to play a night game. I do think Nuss. I think something's wrong with Nuss, man. I think something's wrong with him. I think he's hurt. I'm not trying to make excuses for the kid, but I think he's hurt. Something's just not right with him. I think the offense is so bad that I don't know, man. I'm gonna believe in my Commodores again, and I'm gonna go Vandy. So
Vanderbilt. Right, I've said this before. They remind me of the Jaden Daniels LSU teams. I don't think they're going to have, as bad as LSU's offense is, I don't think they're going to have enough defense. I think LSU is going to kick multiple field goals and end up winning something 23-17, something like that. I think they're going to be good enough to get on the other side of the 50, Vanderbilt. The turnovers against Alabama made me start to question Vanderbilt's offense against better teams a little bit. So I'm going to say, LSU for sure, something like 23-17, something like that.
I'm gonna go similar. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Somewhere around there, for sure. Please, Vandy, don't let me down again. Please.
You're taking Vandy. I'm taking LSU.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vandy.
Similar score, just reverse winners.
Yep, I'm gonna take
Okay.
Vandy. Similar score. I just, man, I don't know. I think there's something broken with LSU. I can't. Other than the offense, I just think I have this bad feeling it's fixing to go bad for old LSU for the next couple of weeks. I hope season ain't watching, but all right. Oklahoma versus South Carolina. I think this is a massive game for both, Adam. I think if South Carolina doesn't win this game, man, they have Bama, Ole Miss, A&M, and Clemson still on the schedule. It could be possible, other than I'm pretty sure they have a cupcake squeezed in there. But other than that cupcake, they could go just winless in those 4 games. 4 games. This game is just absolutely massive for South Carolina and Oklahoma, because Oklahoma needs to bounce back, because Oklahoma also has a tough schedule after South Carolina. So, to me, this is a massive, massive game. The only thing that I'm scared of for South Carolina is, unlike Texas, which their offensive line was statistically pretty bad, this offensive line's even worse. They're like 109th in O-line grade on PFF, 89th in pass blocking, 124th in pressure rate allowed, 116th in run blocking. I love Sellers. He doesn't have much help. I don't know that he can scramble his way out of the Oklahoma defense like he has in a couple of games. I don't know, man. I do think Oklahoma has problems. I think Texas and Michigan has exposed Oklahoma.
Yes.
I think Oklahoma has problems. I think we kind of overrated them after the Michigan game. I'm talking myself. I don't know where you had them. Myself personally.
I did as well. I thought Michigan was a little bit better than they were. So, yeah, I definitely bumped Oklahoma up too high and thought way too high of them. I think they're still a solid team, but I don't see the CFP in their future either. And I
don't either,
even with this win. But I agree. This is kind of a crossroads game for both of them.
Yeah.
If South Carolina loses this game, they're probably not bowl eligible.
No, absolutely not. And I think Oklahoma's going to win. I'm gonna pick Oklahoma, but I don't feel good about either team going forward. I just don't think South Carolina can move the ball on their offense. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself from the Texas game take. I think I feel pretty confident South Carolina's not going to move the ball unless Sellers has his Cam Newton Superman day. And I haven't seen that yet this year. He's done okay, but I just don't think he has much help. So, yeah, I just think Oklahoma's defense would be too much for him.
Yeah, I agree. Oklahoma, a lot of the same points you said. I think it could be a very ugly offensive game from both teams.
So we agree on that one. Oh, shoot. Did you see what Brent Venables – did you see the Big 12 body Brent Venables today?
Yes.
That was hilarious. Oh, my gosh. Ole Miss versus Georgia. Brother, if I have to watch another bad first half, I'm going to throw up. Listen, I need a first quarter stop and a touchdown like I need air to breathe. I'm going to pull something up on the screen. Adam, this is Georgia's first half deficits versus Power 4 opponents the last 10 games. Now, that line right there that you see right there, where Tennessee's at, that's this season. All the other ones are from last season. They were behind against Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Texas, Notre Dame, Tennessee this year, Alabama this year, not Kentucky, and Auburn.
That's tough to win games. I didn't realize. I knew everybody's complaining about them starting slow. I didn't realize it was that bad.
It's
I'm
bad.
actually very impressed. They've only lost 3 of those games when they've been down like they have. I mean, the Georgia Tech game was a marathon, and there's some questionable calls late in that. But, it's for them to be able to come back, Texas 6-0 is not that big of a deal. But some of these are hard holes to dig out of, and they've been able to do it. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. But at some point, they're going to drop another 1 or 2 here real quick when they get in the meat of the SEC if they don't figure it out.
It's not sustainable, is what I told a buddy today. It's just not. Like,
Not at all.
do I think it could be sustainable? Do I think it could get you 10-2, get into the playoffs? Maybe, sure. They did it last year. Do I think it's sustainable in a sense that you're going to go 4 straight games in the playoffs? No, you're not. You're not facing Ohio State down 17-0 or 10-0, and you're not coming back. You're not doing that to other teams in the playoffs. It's not a sustainable thing, in my opinion. This is the first time. I'll be curious your thoughts before we dig into the game. I told somebody earlier today, I thought this was the first time since Kirby Smart's 2016 season where I could legit see the floor of this 2025 Georgia team being 8-4.
Let me pull up their schedule real quick. I was looking at stuff with Ole Miss.
They got Texas still. They got Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. I think is their big game. Oh, Florida too.
I don't know about 8-4. I could see 9-3 being their floor, but I don't expect it to be 9-3. I think Georgia Tech is a little fluky, maybe a little bit of a fraud. Charlotte's not good. Texas, I still don't know what to think about them.
Yeah.
Maybe they've turned the corner, but their offense isn't looking great. They got points off of special teams last week. 8-4, I think you're being a little too hard on them. 9-3, I think 9-3 is the floor. I think 10-2 is probably pretty realistic.
Yeah, maybe I am. It's possible. I'm a lot harder on my team than other teams. You could be right. I don't know, man. These first half problems have been going on for a year and a half now. They gotta figure it out. I do think UGA could expose Ole Miss's defense. They're not very good at stopping the run. They're 117th in defensive rushing success rate. If you went back and watched that Arkansas game, Arkansas absolutely gashed them in the run game. Washington State had some success. I think I looked up something today. I was telling our co-host on our Sunday or our Thursday show, our buddy Austin, and he didn't realize this, and I didn't either until I looked at it. Is it possibly we're overrating Ole Miss a little bit, Adam? Because they have a 7-point win against Kentucky, 6-point win against Arkansas, 5-point win against LSU, and a 3-point win against Washington State.
I think maybe. I think you also have to remember they had a quarterback change.
True.
And I think they now have a difference maker quarterback, and still kind of he's had a couple good games early, struggled a little bit against Washington State, but I think he's still trying to find his way in that offense a little bit. And I do think Georgia wins this game, but I don't know if we're overrating Ole Miss too much. I think they're going to be every bit in the mix at the end of the year. And, for this game, I think Trinidad Chambliss needs to be effective with his legs, on his feet, and through the air. And I don't know with that Georgia defense and the linebackers they have. Number 3 his name's escaping me right now. He is a ball player. Yes, he is a ball player. And if they use him to spy Chambliss, or at least just
they better
if they're blitzing, whatever. But I think Chambliss is going to have to be the difference maker here that he can be. He very much can be. I think he's going to have to run for about 75 yards. He's going to have to do it on the ground a little bit, have a little bit of a Cam Newton, Vince Young game, and not turn the ball over. I think Georgia's game plan is going to be keep the offense off the field, keep the Ole Miss offense off the field, and that quick strike and tire the defense out. Because I don't think Ole Miss does have the depth or the strength on defense that the other top tier defenses in the SEC are.
Yeah, and those are all great points. The Trinidad does scare me a lot. Jackson Arnold, we made him for at least a half look like Peyton Manning. Joey Aguilar had 371 yards against us. Ty Simpson had 276. So that scares me a little bit. I do like that it's at home though. The Vegas line shocked me, -7. I had somebody tell me I don't gamble or bet, so but I had a buddy tell me that does. He said he felt like that was like a what did he call it?
Sucker bet.
A sucker bet. There you go. He felt like that was a sucker bet. Like he was saying, like he said when he seen that line, his first thought was, "This is Vegas trying to trick people into betting Ole Miss." You know, take that for what it's worth. That doesn't win you the ball game, but I don't know. That line surprised me a lot.
It's at Georgia, and like you said, Ole Miss has been skating by a few games that maybe they shouldn't have. That defense is doing enough to let that good offense score points and win games, but they haven't been dominant by any stretch of imagination.
Yeah. I guess oh my gosh. I'll go Georgia.
I'm gonna go Georgia too. They're at home. And you know, I just have a feeling Kirby Smart's going to be a little bit better of a coach in this game than what Kiffin will be, and I think there's going to be a couple decisions where Kiffin's kind of gunslinger gambling for it on fourth down is going to come back and bite him in the butt.
Yeah. Let's hope so for my heart condition. Bama versus Tennessee. It feels like this whole weekend's full of surprising spreads. I mean, I know we just talked about Tennessee's defense, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit more here. I didn't expect 9. I think it was 9.5 is what it opened. I'm not sure what it is now.
But ESPN has 7.5.
Okay, 7.5.
Yeah,
still pretty big, but I do like this Bama team. I really like them. I do think they're beatable, but every team is. I'm really fascinated at the spread. I do maybe think that's due to the defense. Look, I love my dogs. It's obvious I do. I love them. I represent them. But, brother, UGA's offense is not as good as Tennessee made them out to look. I mean, that they made Georgia's offense look like 2019 LSU. And, brother, we ain't even close to that. Not even close. The Vols rank 112th in adjusted EPA per play, 110th in allowed success rate. Here's a nugget for you, Adam. 1 in every 10 passes go for 20 yards against Tennessee.
Wow.
That's what I'm here for. I can see the shock on your face.
One out of every 10. I mean, I guess I don't have context on that. It just seems like a lot.
Yeah, when I was doing some research, I had found that nugget somewhere, and I was like, I wrote that down. I was like, I got to tell Adam this. It was pretty eye-opening, and it matches my eyes. I mean, their pass defense is not really good, and they're fixing to face a guy in Ty Simpson that is the king of third downs, the king of fourth downs, really too, because DeBoer's been going for it a lot.
And Ty Simpson's starting to play better. You know, I don't know where this was week 1 against Florida State, but the team as a whole has regrouped. Ty Simpson is playing. He's balling out right now, man. He's playing extremely well.
Probably my Heisman favorite, maybe. I got to come up with that.
He's definitely up there in contention.
Yeah, Thursday we're doing our mid-season awards. Not a lot of them, but we're doing our, Heisman, mid-season Heisman, mid-season national champion prediction, and mid-season coach of the year. And I keep in my head, I keep saying, I think I'm going to go Ty. I think I'm going to go Ty Simpson.
I like Mendoza a little better right now, maybe Carson Beck, but Ty Simpson's in consideration for sure. And that's just talking quarterbacks. I'm not going to get into position players on it, but Ty Simpson's he's doing what he needs to do, playing very well.
The other big thing I'm looking forward to watching is Bama's defense. I've said that the last couple of times. I mean, I think against Missouri, they showed a lot of promise, a lot of things I was encouraged by. I'll be curious to see how they handle Tennessee because I don't think Tennessee's offense is the problem. When going into the season, it was so funny. We all thought Tennessee's offense was going to be the issue, especially with the quarterback who they got in. He was kind of turnover prone his whole career. If you go look up his numbers at UCLA, App State, and the other 20 different programs he played for in his career, he was a very turnover kid. I mean, and I think I saw a number like his turnover worthy plays is like down to 1.8%. And it's just like the job Heupel's done with that kid and the job that he's done with this offense to make it look as good, if not better than it was last year, I think is great. It's just I don't think this defense is going to be able to stop Bama, especially at home. I think Ty Simpson's going to slice that secondary up. So I'm going to go Bama.
I'm going to go Bama too. I do think Tennessee will score some points just because Heupel's a good coach. He's an offensive mind, and he usually will have some sort of they'll put one or two drives together each half. It's can they get touchdowns or field goals? You know, if they get a couple touchdowns, it's going to be close. If they have to settle for field goals, then it might not look as close on the scoreboard as what it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Missouri, Auburn. Man, my Missouri Tigers, they're not the favorite. Was you shocked by that one too? Said Auburn was the favorite last I checked.
Missouri -1.5 is what it says now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on ESPN. You know, I think Missouri wins this game. They haven't played the toughest schedule to this point, though. So I do think they're a little bit better. I just Auburn's had a little bit of bad luck. They've played a tougher schedule, and you know they went Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, 3 right in a row. So I would not be surprised if Auburn wins this game. It's can they get out of this funk that they're in? I'm going to lean Missouri, though. I'm going to take them, but I think this is a very close game. It's probably the closest one that, in my mind, that we have previewed so far.
Yeah, so I just looked. It did open up, according to Circa Sports. It did open up Auburn the favorite, and it's completely flipped to Missouri, like you said. I wonder if that has to do. I don't know if you've seen the news about the star or the captain of the team of Auburn.
I did see that.
Yeah, leaving the team. I guess I don't know if he was kicked off or if it was a mutual understanding. I think the cracks in the Hugh Freeze Foundation is fixing to come crumbling down.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. It's to me, this game is can Auburn get out of their 3-game funk? They've played 3 decent teams: Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, and they've played them all pretty tough. I think if they play the way they did in the last 3 games, minus their offense in the second half against Georgia, they're probably going to beat Missouri. Something tells me, like you said, the cracks in the foundation, and it just seems to be something kind of chemistry's off or something. Maybe the captain leaving the team is going to help the chemistry. Maybe they're going to rally around the rest of the team and be ready to play. But I feel like something's not right in that locker room, and it makes me want to lean on Missouri on this.
I kind of went into this Sunday. I was like, I think I'm going to pick Auburn. I think I'm going to go against my Missouri Tigers. But I don't like the vibe like we just talked about. I don't like the vibe around Auburn right now. I think, I think after the Georgia game, and I'm not saying this as a Georgia fan. I'm not saying this as a bragging thing. I think the Georgia game on top of the Oklahoma game might have broke them. Pretty 2 highly emotional games. And it's a shame because I do think this Auburn team is really, really good as far as talent. I think the defense, I've never seen our quarterback get pounded like that, like he did against that Auburn defense. He took hits that would put any normal man in the hospital. And he was just hit after hit after hit. It's a physical defense. It's a talented defense. They have a talented offense. It's just Hugh, for the second year in a row, has completely whiffed on the quarterback position. Let me ask you this, Adam. If we took John Mateer off Oklahoma, we put him on Auburn.
They're going to be better.
You think a lot better?
I don't know.
I kind of think it'd be a lot better.
Mateer's played well this year at times,
Yeah.
but there's been a few times he's kind of done some head scratching things. Jackson Arnold, on the other hand, has done a lot of head scratching things, and then very few times has looked decent. So,
okay, let's say, how about Trinidad Chambliss?
I think so. Auburn's defense, I think, is going to keep them in most games.
Yeah,
they're kind of similar to LSU, but they have different problems on offense. But
yeah,
they're kind of similar to LSU in that they have pretty good defenses that are going to keep them in most games, but they just can't score any points to outscore their opponent once they hold them to a low amount of points.
And I do think
I feel like Auburn's offense has a lot more problems than a quarterback, and that's why I'm unsure about if you put a quarterback on there. Was that going to make a difference?
I don't know. I kind of think this is just my opinion. I kind of think that I know the offensive line gets a lot of crapped on. I just remember looking back at some statistics and stuff, some advanced stats and stuff. It seems like the offensive line problems is more so a Jackson Arnold kind of holds the ball too long problem.
Maybe.
And I mean, we have no way to, really prove that, I guess, but it does seem like that was a problem with him at Oklahoma, from what I understood. But I don't know. Oklahoma's O-line was pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, the O-line could be bad. I don't know. But I think Missouri's going to win. Do you know where that game is? Because I forgot to look.
It's Auburn.
It's at home?
It's at Auburn.
Oh, okay, at Auburn. Awesome. All right. Is there any other games? Who's Kentucky got this weekend?
Texas, man.
Ooh.
In Lexington.
Can y'all do it?
No. No. I'm surprised the spread is as low as it is. I saw 11.5 at one point, I think, on FanDuel, and ESPN has 12.5. I mean, I don't expect Kentucky to cover. Texas will cover that and win going away. I really think this is going to be. Texas had a big win last week against Oklahoma. I have a feeling this is Texas's get-right game. They're going to break out here and get things figured out. I don't know if they're ever going to be as good on offense as what everybody expected, but they're starting to turn the corner here. This is going to be Texas's get-right game, unfortunately, and they're going to put up a big number on Kentucky, I think.
I would agree. I was trying to find some hope for your Wildcats, brother. I really was.
I don't have any, especially after the last game they played was Georgia, and Georgia just dominated that game.
Mississippi State, Florida. Any little quick thoughts on that? I mean, that's for. Oh wow, Florida's favored 8.5.
I actually kind of like Florida in this game.
See? Okay.
Because of their defense.
Yeah.
I like Florida in this game. I sent you that stat earlier today.
You did. Yes, you did.
Mississippi State hasn't won an SEC game in 724 days. It's going to hit 730 because they're not going to win this weekend.
Let's go. I love it. You know what? I'll just be different. I'm going to go Mississippi State.
All right.
You know what? That's going to be my upset pick of the week.
Okay.
I did so horrible last week. Let's just keep the train rolling.
All right.
No, what I do like about Florida is, we can say what we want about Billy Napier, good coach, bad coach, whatever. Somebody asked in chat, who did he say Texas is playing? Kentucky, in the chat. Is Vandy and LSU playing? Yes. But we can say is he good or is he bad coach? But I will tell you this, man, his players play tough for him.
They do. They play hard and yeah.
Like I could legit see there being give up in Auburn real soon, probably this weekend. Because I know we just talked about this, but about the player being suspended. a lot of his teammates were reposting stuff and saying, like, in support of the teammate that just got off the team. And I don't, you're not going to see that at Florida. So say what you want about Billy Napier, but his boys ain't going to quit on him.
Yeah. And as bad as their offense has been, Lagway still had a good game last week against A&M. I feel like I like Florida and I like them big. I don't see much there at Mississippi State right now. And there hasn't been much there in a few years. And Florida's got that great defense. They have a dynamic quarterback. He's still got a long way to go before he can be called a good quarterback, but he can beat you with his legs and sometimes his arms when he's given time by his offensive line. So I like Florida in that game.
Yeah, I was just kind of messing around. I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to go Florida.
Yeah, you already said Mississippi State.
What do you,
I think we agreed on it. We agreed on every game but one. So stay with the Mississippi State one, man.
I'll go Mississippi State then.
Vandy and LSU is the only other one that we disagreed on.
All right, I'm going Mississippi State. I'm not going to chicken out. I'm going to go Mississippi State. Texas A&M, Arkansas. You know that game's usually. I know I'm looking weird right now, but my chair feels like it's about to break. The Arkansas Texas A&M is always kind of a weird game. Do we see that? You know, it's always kind of close no matter the records. I was talking to our buddy Sean, who's doing a show after this tonight. He's a big Razorback fan. He actually thinks this is going to be the one where it's just a complete blowout. Aggies are going to win. I kind of lean that way. I don't think this one's going to be close. I think the Aggies going to kill them.
I could see it being. I think Arkansas is still going to put up some points, though. Not enough to win, but I think it's going to be kind of a shootout, but blowout at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense because what aggravates me about the Arkansas discussion, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but the Arkansas discussion, what annoys me about them is we ignore how good that dang offense is, dude. It is so good. I'm looking up the advanced stats now. Yeah, they're like, let's see, they are like 18th in EPA per pass, 3rd in the rush. They're 12th in early downs. They're 2nd and 3rd down success rate. Their offense success rate, they're like 10th in the country, 9th in the rush, 18th in the pass. Like, this is a legit offense. The problem is their defense sucks.
Yeah.
Their defense is the worst. So it's kind of a shame because it kind of ticks me off. I'm like, I wish Arkansas just had a competent defense so people could appreciate how good this Arkansas offense is.
Yeah, I think they're going to put up somewhere in the realm of 28, 30 points, 31 points, but they're going to give up way more than that.
That's what's going to aggravate me about this game. This is going to be a good litmus test for A&M's defense. And people are going to completely ignore, like, so let's just say A&M wins, I don't know, 38-12 or 38-14. To me, I'm going to be like, holy crap, that's pretty good because you held Arkansas's offense in check. The more, I don't want to be ugly, the more casual fan, it's Arkansas. It's, it's the Razorbacks. Sam Pittman's fired. They suck. And I'm like, they do suck at certain parts, but that offense is legit, guys. It is legit.
Texas A&M, the coaching staff might be more disappointed they only scored 38 points than the fact that they gave up 12.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh man, this has been fun, brother. This has been fun. Any closing parts before we do our outros and stuff? Anything?
I got UCF tonight. Somebody fact check me on this. I did a quick search before, but I couldn't find it. They're at least since 2000, the only team I can think of in FBS that has had a winless season and an undefeated season. Somebody please fact check me on that. If you can find anybody else in FBS, I know I found Ohio Northern did it in the 30s, I think it said. But UCF had a buddy there that was game management for football. And That's my shirt for tonight. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, I'm going to wear a different higher education shirt. Doesn't even have to have an athletic department. It could be a tech school, whatever. And if you want your university to be represented on the show, send me a shirt. I'll figure out the size. I'll make it fit somehow. If you're going to give it to Goodwill, then I'll take it to Goodwill for you after that. If anybody catches me repeating a school within 48 hours of the show, they reach out to me on Twitter. It's CFB Guy, and lets me know, hey, you wore this school, university, whatever, on this date. I will send you one of my podcast shirts. I got a podcast as well, the Weekly Walk On. You'll get one of those shirts for catching me, but I will wear a different higher education shirt every single show that we do, just to get some exposure for different schools that might not be as well known. I know this is SEC focused, but it's just kind of a fun little thing, and we'll hopefully get some clothes going to Goodwill, and people can tune in and see if I wear their school or not. Because I got some obscure schools that definitely do not have Division I athletic departments, if they have athletic departments at all.
Yep. I like that. My favorite shirt so far that you've done is the one last week. That was my favorite one.
UTRGV.
Yeah.
I had to, man. They got their first conference win as a college football team in their inaugural season. So they got a Southland Conference win last week, or I guess it would have been 2 Saturdays ago now.
Yeah, that was my favorite one because I actually read a story in the off season about them. That somebody did a really good story about them becoming a new football program and like how they've been building it from the ground up. And so, yeah, I'm gonna look forward to the shirts every week. It's always a surprise to me. So I hope I didn't heard that.
I interviewed for my job there. I got hired as the assistant athletic director for event and facility management there. And when I interviewed, and I don't know, they called me. I'd evacuated Savannah for Hurricane Matthew. And that's when I was evacuated, is when they called me and said, hey, are you interested in interviews? Sometime in October and of 2016. I think that hurricane was in. I started there the week after Thanksgiving in November of 2016. So probably October, I go there for my interview, and they told me that they would be starting football within the next 2 to 3 years. And I was gone. I left after 20 months. I went to Tulane in 2018, still not anywhere closer. And then they finally announced it, I think 2 years ago now. So it's been a long time coming. They've been working for it for a long time to have college football there. It's down in the valley. There's a lot of excitement for it, and I think they got a good head coach there too. It's his second program that he started, so hopefully they can have some success down there and get some football down there, because your closest team is UTSA, and that's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, this school, I used to make day trips across the border of Mexico. This school is right on the border down in Edinburgh, Texas, where it's located. So I hope they do a good job down there. And, you know, it's exciting times for them. The people that I know that still work there, they're all very excited about everything. And they have an old minor league soccer stadium. It was the minor league team for the Houston. I don't remember what Houston's team is, but it was Houston's MLS team. And
yeah,
they don't play there anymore. So that's where they play their home games. They retrofitted it. It was stadium less than 10 years old, but they retrofitted it to make it a little bit more football friendly. And it's a beautiful stadium too. So,
yep. All right, brother. I don't know if we changed the outro or not, but
no. I mean, they had to a little bit, but I mean, keep drinking the sweet tea and watching the SEC.
We'll catch y'all next week.
Thank you for tuning in.